So there's a lot of bad information on YouTube about music marketing. But in this video, I am going to be giving you a proven strategy that I use on a daily basis to introduce my music to new fans, and is the main way that I'm able to generate a full-time income from my music. It's not Spotify, it's not iTunes, it's not Instagram, it's not Facebook, it's not YouTube, it's this. This is something called a squeeze page. It's a page on my band's website that is specifically optimized for collecting email addresses. This is the introduction to my band. People who have never ever heard of us before are taken to this page first. It's like a primer for who we are, what we've accomplished, and why they should care, all within the first 15 seconds of looking at it. No check us out on Spotify, no links to anything else, just this page, this call to action. There's a bold promise about what our music will deliver, there's an image, there's some supporting quotes from magazines and radio stations about our music, and then there's some descriptive paragraphs. And I should mention that the formatting of this is absolutely crucial. You cannot just emulate this with any old website builder, but be sure to stay tuned through to the end because I will be explaining not only how you can build your own, but also why you would want to. So I mentioned email addresses, right? And I know that's not something you hear many musicians talking about, but the truth is that it is the most important thing. It means so much more than any other platform, which is part of what I mean about the misinformation, because all anyone on YouTube is talking about is how lit AF Instagram is, okay? Instagram is not the ideal way to build a fan base and is not the ideal way to attempt to monetize your music. In fact, I have data showing it's arguably the worst way, but that's a topic for another video. Anyway, the first benefit to email, which should be obvious to anyone, is that you own your connection to your fans. You are not beholden to the whim of whatever social media platform you are reliant on. I don't know what percentage of my audience is old enough to remember MySpace, but remember MySpace? Bands built up massive followings on that platform, some in the hundreds of thousands, and then overnight it was all gone. Another more modern example is social media algorithms. Creators are constantly complaining about their content not being shown to a majority of people. And then of course you have YouTube and their random demonetizations and things like that, right? With email, there is none of that. There are no algorithms that can suddenly change the next day and suddenly only 10% of your following is seeing what you're posting on Facebook. With email, assuming you are legally collecting these addresses and not spamming, and people are voluntarily confirming their opt-in, you stand a near guaranteed chance of people at least seeing the email that you are sending out. It's down to their relationship to you that determines whether they actually open them, but your odds are already infinitely higher than posting something on Facebook. Now, the other reason, and arguably a better reason that this is so significant, is automation. Every time that someone signs up and gets some free music, they are sent down a preset series of emails that are automatically sent out at certain times. And this is set up to mimic a one-to-one, person-to-person introduction. Imagine you're hanging out at a bar, right? And you see someone wearing a band shirt that you recognize, and you strike up a conversation with them. Hey, I love that band. I love this about them. I love that about them. You share common values, right? You might mention at some point, by the way, I have a band, and we are very inspired by this band that we've been talking about. Could I maybe give you a few tracks to check out? And they're like, sure. So the squeeze page is what that conversation is. It demonstrates common values, demonstrates, yeah, you probably would like my band. Can I give you some tracks to check out? After this person listens to the music, they might ask you some questions about your band. How did you guys get started? Why, what inspires you? What's your story? Who are you guys? That's what these emails are. These emails go to blog posts that build that person-to-person connection of, I'm not just a musician, I'm a human being. This is my background, this is, my friend's background, my bandmate's background. This is why we do what we do and why people get emotionally invested. It's not just the music, it's the whole experience. And the reason that the whole email automation thing is so significant is that it allows us to build relationships like this not at a one-to-one scale. Like, we would normally have to sit down at a bar and shake the hands of every single person, right? This way we can meet hundreds of people in a given day. And you might have a knee-jerk reaction to feeling like this is very impersonal. My fans would disagree with you. Like, it's obvious that those first few emails are automated, and if they reply, I reply. It does become a real conversation. And the thing is that this builds a kind of relationship that is totally unique, and you do not see it on other social media platforms, especially Instagram. It feels very like a friendship. It feels like you know this person. I have fans who I know things about their family members. You know, they talk to me when they're having a bad day. They tell me like, "Hey, you know, I had this shitty thing happen at work and I listened to your music and it really got me through it. Thank you." Like, that is so unique and so special. And you just don't see that. And at least nearly not at that scale when you're not doing something like this. And of course, at some point, because the way that you get this squeeze page in front of people is to use paid advertising on Facebook, at some point you do have to make a monetary return on these relationships that you're building, right? So the reason this is so important is that you're structuring a relationship where the logical thing for your fan to do is to support you. It's not like, oh, I'm doing something sleazy, I'm trying to force this person to part with their money, and I'm using all these cheap sales tactics, which there's a certain music marketer whose name I will not mention who fully encourages people to do this, and it's just really slimy to watch. But said music marketer notwithstanding, what we are doing is saying, okay, look, you like the music that you've heard so far, you like the stories you've read. If you support us in this, it's a win-win, because you will get more of the music that you like, more of the content that you are here for in the first place. The relationship deepens, essentially. And also, we are able to devote even more time to this because we have money coming in, you know. You can make more music when you don't have to worry about a day job. So it really is a win-win scenario for us and for the fans. But the crucial thing that enables all of this is the blog posts that drive them to care about us in the first place, is the email automation, is the squeeze page as the linchpin behind all of it. None of it works without that. So, as I said at the start of this video, the squeeze page is not something you can just emulate. There is a very specific way that it's built, and most website builders I have seen cannot do it, and most musicians are not website designers. So if you would like to learn how to set up your own squeeze page, your own website, your own email automation sequence that will allow you to build relationships with your new fans, everything I described here, right up until and including profiting from your music, I learned it all from a course called Music Marketing Manifesto. And if you want to help out my channel, if you use the link in the description or in the pinned comment to sign up, I do get a small commission. But no pressure, guys. I recommend Music Marketing Manifesto because it worked for me, not for any other reason. It is hands down the only thing that I'm aware of that actually allows musicians to start becoming professional musicians overnight. So if you do your due diligence, if you look into it and you decide it sounds like something that's for you, which by the way, I do also have a review of the course on my channel. If you look into it and you decide you're definitely going to sign up regardless, it does really help me if you use the link, just because making these videos is time consuming and it does kind of help me break even on the time investment. But regardless, I will see you in the next video.